onmiddellik. Baie dankie Magda. Julle, dis jy's baie oulik om vir my te remind daaroor, want dit is baie belangrik. Okay, so die eerste ding wat ek I wanted to cover for tonight, we are talking on the marketing plan and just really getting it the picture again of that we actually can move a lot faster and not get stuck to always getting into the 12 months plan. You can do it in 1 month, you can do it in 2 months. But let me just start by, Shawn is also going to be talking about the LDW and the importance of the LDW and qualifying for it. But today is the last day for the early bird tickets. The tickets are going to go up from $450 to $500. So, I mean, it's not that much more, but I wanted us to just make sure that we do remind our teams that today is the last day for the LDW tickets. It's going to be an amazing event. So let's make sure just sending out a reminder again for everybody. And then I wanted to, I don't know how much time we will have at the end of after Shawn has done his part of sharing his story, etc. with us. I wanted to just stand still on our Dream Team Coaches to training, Road to Paris training. And the one thing I will just change the flyer again a little bit, also for everybody. Most of you know that we've changed the venue. It's a lot closer. So it is a lovely hotel, Protea Hotel here in Durbanville area. So it is not so far out for everybody. And remember, it's welcome. All members are welcome. And we are going to have an amazing day again where we're going to have the workshop of, you know, getting feedback from everybody, where we're going to have a breakaway session. We're definitely going to go into the marketing plan in details and really make it a very, very fun day. We are also going to be doing great recognition for everybody that's done their 2.5, so, you know, special seating, cocktails, and so on. And then what we're also planning to do is for lunch, we are going to have a competition between the teams to each have a shake table. So I will speak to you guys again before then. But so like Magda and her team will have a table, maybe Denise and her team. So we will make it a fun thing. Remember, like we had in the olden days, Magda, onthou jy toe ons altyd sulke shake tafels gedoen het. I think it could be great fun. And we'll break up in groups with that, and we'll probably arrange it before the time so that everybody can get their recipes, and what if you want to make tarts or pancakes or whatever, we're going to make it fun thing around the lunch. Okay. And if anybody, we're definitely going to go into really practical on the marketing plan and really just get that team feeling. I think we had such a great time the last time. And so we will have probably have a bit of a social with everybody before only the qualifiers will come for something to eat with us. So so the 5,000, and we're also going to extend it into May up to the event. So we'll definitely send out a new flyer on this, but I really would love the team to, you know, all of you to promote, and we will start again with a sort of an introduction, confidence in the company, and so on. So if it is somebody that's really new in the business, they are completely welcome to join us for that day. So let's make it a special day for everybody. I know that Sandra and Peter and all the guys from the South Cape are coming down, and so we will definitely have an amazing day, and also again a little bit of a dress up with the French feel, and bring your feathers and you know, or just a beret or something. Just it makes it more fun. Okay, so this is just something I wanted to touch on. So just in the basic marketing plan, I don't want to spend too much time, you know, on this initial part. I think one of the things that is just so important for us to be able to explain the marketing plan very, very simply to our members. We see this a lot now at all the meetings, but again, I think it's very, very important for us to make sure that our new guy can explain the marketing plan in details to their new person again, because it's only once you show them the money that they really start understanding the marketing plan, and that they can actually start seeing it for themselves and get excited about the figures. So again, the retail profit, and that is why it's so important for you to also package your own story and make sure that you know how much profit you're making on your retail, how much you're making on your wholesale, and how much actually you're making in your retail. Because when it comes to actually recruiting and getting people into your business, the only way you're going to do it is if you're excited about the money that you made the last week, the last 2 weeks, etc., so that you really will get other people excited of the potential of the marketing plan and what they can do. So again, explaining the wholesale, the how they will go up in the marketing plan, and then the wholesale, and then also into the royalties. I like to explain the royalties also with a figure, but I know that mostly in the meetings we just say question mark because the sky is actually the limit. And in this case, I now said per person, you can get 1,000 Rand per person if they are servicing about 40 customers. So it's one distributor with 10 and 3 people under them that's got 10 in the 3 lines. And so if you build up 10 lines, you can add a 0 to behind that 3,000. So suddenly you're showing somebody how they can earn 35,000 Rand. And we immediately say, listen, this is going to happen like in the next month or so. So you want to always keep it, within reality, that we don't create an unrealistic expectation for people. Okay, so the next slide. Okay, so just going through the marketing plan levels again, and this is some of the slides that they also used last Saturday at the meeting with Bayer, the quick start, and just explaining again for people how they would go to supervisor, but that they want to have a focus to actually go active supervisor immediately, and that it would be a natural flow into the business. Oh my goodness, we have Mr. Shawn Lewis has just joined us.
Hello.
Welcome. If everybody can just
Don't let me disturb.
Scream.
Hello, Michelle.
No, we're going to go straight to you. Oh my goodness, there's a bit of a background noise. So what I'm going to do, Shawn, is I'm going to jump these slides now and go to your lifestyle pictures. And I can come back to these afterwards. So let's start with, but first of all, thank you so much for taking the time out. Shawn, it looks like you connected on two.
Yeah, it's going to go away now. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So first of all, let me just do a quick introduction. I mean, everybody knows you. But I'm really grateful that you're taking the time out to spend some time with our team tonight. And we are so super excited to have seen how you guys have grown your business. And, just the momentum that you and your team have. We are so super excited with what's happening in Cape Town. And thank you for, all the contribution that you are doing to help us build Cape Town and, the excitement that's going on around really the country, but specifically and the support that we're having as friends working together in Cape Town. So thank you so much. And I hand over to you.
Wow, thank you so much. What a privilege. If it wasn't for Ace in the beginning of our Herbalife career, we certainly wouldn't be anywhere where we are today. So all I can say to you is everybody on this call, you couldn't have the better sponsor, with Elsa supporting you there, and Ace making you laugh every now and then. between the team, you guys are the absolute best sponsors. So I would just hang on to your third tail and really just follow everything that they say. Sometimes in the beginning in your Herbalife career, we kind of tend to not have that teachability. But just hang on to everything that they're saying, because that's all we did. We just followed whatever they said. We did it, and we just believed. So thank you very much, Elsa, and an absolute privilege to share with you guys tonight.
Thank you, Shawn.
All right. So, I'll tell you guys very quickly our story. I'm sure there are some people that have never heard our story before because they haven't been around. But as you know, guys, when we got to this little flat, for those of you know our very detailed story, this was already 4 years into our Herbalife career. And that's why I say it's so important to be teachable because, at the end of the day, we were not very teachable in the beginning. And this is how we landed up in this horrible little flat. A few years down the line, having had the business pack under the bed for 2 years or for a couple of years already. And,
Shawn,
having
sorry,
made that
interrupting. I'm just
rand in Herbalife and been to a big extravaganza, you would think ordinarily that would be it in Herbalife. We would have just made a success from there. But unfortunately, success.
Shawn, can you just unmute yourself? It was a bit too much background noise. Sorry. Shawn, can you just unmute yourself? There we go. Okay, thank you. There was a bit too much background noise. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay. Perfect. So, as I was saying, getting going in the beginning, we weren't that teachable, and we landed up, having the business back for 4 years before we landed up here. And, and one thing that you got to realize is that in Herbalife, timing is everything. And when the timing's right for you, you're going to know. And, you're going to, sometimes we're coming in and we make a little bit of money and, we dabble with the business and we treat it like a hobby and we go to a BBS every now and then when we're not busy. But, when you get to that point where you get serious and you make a decision about this business, it's amazing what happens. And that's what happened to us in this little flat, I was completely a broken person. I had no hope. I definitely had no confidence in anything. I had no dreams. I'd given up on my dreams. I basically decided, you know what, I need to live below my means because that's what everybody was telling me. And this flat was 1,200 Rand a month rent and we couldn't pay it. We used to pay it late every single month. But when someone came home this day and she said to us, listen, she said to me, I'm sick and tired of my boss. I've had it with him. He's not making good on his promises. She said, we're going to do Herbalife. And that's the day that we got serious about Herbalife. And we did it really for the kids, because in the beginning when we first got started and we made that little bit of money and we were broke and everything was repossessed, it was tough, but it was just me and her, But when we got to this place, it was now these two little monsters that we had with us and, we had to provide for them. So we made a decision, guys. And sometimes along in your Herbalife career, you had to get to that point where you make a decision. And I can tell you the decision we made in this flat was that we were going to make Herbalife happen. Come hell or high water, we were going to make this thing work. And it wasn't going to be maybe if it works or let's see if it works or we're going to give it 90 days or we're going to give it a year. We said we were going to do this thing until. And the first thing we did was we set a goal to get out of this environment because, you have to change your environment to the people that you're around and the people you're hanging around with. Because if you don't do that, they'll just suck you back into that environment all the time. And sometimes that's tough because sometimes we've been friends with people for a long time, but if they're not supporting you in your growth and you becoming a better person, it's really difficult to hang around them and still build your Herbalife career. So we made a decision that we were going to get serious and we started helping just one customer at a time. I'll never forget in this little flat today, we have trial packs. In those days, we used to do 50-gram teas as a trial. And, we would get 50, 60 customers in a month, not because we had that goal, but because that's what we needed to pay the bills. Mm-hmm. We couldn't, survive on a few customers a month. We needed to pay the bills. And, as a tea, you can imagine as a supervisor at 50%, you need to do lots of teas to make the ends meet. Mm-hmm. And we set that goal. We made that 3,000 Rand to get out of this little place. And we landed up in our little townhouse in Durbanville, which is where we really built our business, working around the kids. And that was when Angela phoned us and she said, congratulations, guys. I can't believe it. You've qualified to the world team level. And I said to her, fantastic, Angela. Thanks so much for that. I said, what is world team? Because you've got to understand, we weren't going to the meetings. We weren't going to the trainings. We thought we could do this business from home. We thought we'd been to a BBS or we'd been to a meeting. We knew what it was all about. And Angela really made us realize that, you need to see the big picture in Herbalife. And that's what we did. We went over to London. She helped us with one ticket. We had to make the money for the other. So we just worked our butts off, sold more shakes, got more distributors. And, the thing that we learned at that LDW was that World Team School was I really learned two things. The one thing was that you need to design your life in Herbalife. And Angela gave me that confidence that we could design our life. And I'll never forget walking through the streets of Windsor with her, and she said to me, listen, Shawn, you can have whatever you want in Herbalife. She says, I've got my home here in Windsor. I've got my house in Sunset Beach in Cape Town. I've got my villa in the south of France, and that's how I've designed my life. And I thought, wow, it was the first time someone ever told me I could have whatever I wanted. I could design my life the way I wanted. I thought I would, everybody else was going to design my life. And the second thing that we learned, and a lot of you will know this, is that the president's team member stood on stage and she said, you've got to stop using your children as an excuse not to do the business and start using them as the reason. And up to that point, we were using them as an excuse, because every time we had to go to a meeting, it was, we don't have anybody to look after the kids, or, and it was over and over and over. And that's why we didn't know what World Team was, because we weren't attending the meetings. And then the other thing that Angela said to us, she said, listen, you've got to go back to those meetings and not just be at the meeting, because there's one thing to go to the meeting. There's another thing to be involved in the meeting. And to be there first. And, you start off by packing out the chairs, and you start off by helping with the teas and doing the things that are comfortable for you. I mean, Simone, for those of you who know Simone, you won't believe it, but she was terrified of talking to people. The best we could get her to do at a meeting was sit at reception. She used to be the one, greeting everybody. That was her big smile, and that was all she could do. But we just got involved at the meetings, and we started carrying the hi-fi and the speakers. And in those days, it was in that little car that you see with the 2 doors. We would put 2 big speakers on the back seat, and we put Tyron and Shanna on top of the speakers and drop them off at Granny at 6 o'clock so we could be at the meeting at 7. And there were some days, guys, that we didn't have money to get to those meetings. We had sometimes money to get to the meeting. We didn't know how we were going to get home. But we just had that absolute unwavering commitment that we were going to attend these meetings and we were going to make things happen. And then we just started finding one, person at a time. And, if you go to the next slide, you will see just some of the amazing people that we found in the business. And it really was just one person at a time. And we started bringing them over to the house and sitting with them in the lounge and playing the what if game that I'm sure Elsa's played with you guys many times before, and say, what if we do this? And what if this one does that? And, slowly but surely we started to build this amazing team. And all that we've really done, guys, is we've built friendships with these people. And this is one little bit of advice that I can give you, something we've learned from Angela and we learned from Elsa as well, is, you have to build relationships with your people. This is not a business where you have business partners or you have distributors. You're going to have friends, and some of these people are going to be your best friends in the world. And some of them are today, and some of them are just friends, and some of them are our best friends. But every single one of these people, when I look at their faces, it almost brings tears to my eyes, because I know their dreams. I know what they want out of life. I know the struggles that they're going through. And that's what happens when you're authentic about the relationships that you're building. So if you go to the next slide, you will see that when you do that, you are able to start going to these amazing vacations in Herbalife. And what you're doing forever in your Herbalife business is you're building a story. And, when I look at some of these pictures, I look at the pictures of us in Italy and France, it looks great there, but we were broke, guys. We had no money, but we were broke in Italy and we were broke in France. So it's better to be broke in France and Italy than to be broke at home. I remember paying 200 Rand for a glass of wine in France, and we nearly died. But it was just part of our story. We kept building that story. And, when we started to travel around more and we started to qualify for these vacations, and the skiing in Switzerland was amazing. And then we got to ride these camels in the deserts of Morocco. And I'll never forget that camel ride, because that was the first time that we actually got our millionaire team bonus. And I got the SMS sitting on that camel, and it was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I'm on a camel in Morocco, and this is the kind of money I'm being paid. So these are just some of the trips that we've done. You can go to the next one else. And, it's just been an absolute whirlwind of crazy events that we've had in our life. I got to renew my vows with Simone in Las Vegas, which was amazing. We got to take selfies with the Statue of Liberty. And, Hawaii was absolutely amazing, San Francisco. And, we just went through the whole of America. You know what I mean? Just touring around America. We spent 4 weeks in America the year before last. And it was absolutely amazing. So you can go to the next one else. And this is the dream at the moment, guys. You see that little beach in the picture? We sat for so many times on that beach, just looking up at the houses here in Llandudno and thinking to ourselves, one day, if we just keep using the products, wearing the button and talking to people, one day we're going to be able to live here. And, in the back of our mind, we had that little voice saying, maybe not. But in the back of our minds, and we had that other little voice that said, what if? What if you could? What if it does work out? What if we just keep doing it? And what if we keep being committed to the meetings and committed to the building the business and going to the leadership development weekends when we didn't feel like going. And I can tell you guys that one secret of success is every meeting that you don't feel like going to, that's the one you've got to go to. The ones that you're excited of going to, and that's all great. But it's the one that you're feeling, I don't feel like it, and I don't have the money, and I've got to get someone for the kids and someone to look after that. That's the meeting that you got to go to, guys, because those are the ones that change your life. And I can tell you that with absolute honesty right now, because we had that feeling about honors. We weren't sure whether we should go to honors. I mean, we wanted to go to honors. Let's just say I wasn't sure. Simone is always sure. So thank goodness she's the rock here, But we were, dealing with a lot of stuff. And we thought, okay, what if we go to honors? And I'm telling you, honors has completely changed the course of our business because we've just got so serious about it. We've seen guys that have had 10 times more problems than we could ever possibly dream of having in our lives and in Herbalife in America become 100K, become Chairman's Club, now done 150K. So this has completely changed our lives. So when we sat on this little beach and we looked up and we just dreamed that one day if we just kept going, it would happen. It's, now a reality. I'm sitting looking at that in the dark. But that's our view. So go to the next one else. And, I don't know what you guys want out of Herbalife. Maybe you just want that extra 500 Rand to pay the bills. Great. That's what Nasli wanted when she started, our famous tea lady in our millionaire team. But, it sometimes starts like that. But maybe you've got bigger dreams. Maybe you really want more out of your life. And I can promise you guys that, Mark Hughes, when he started this company, he promised that your wildest dreams in Herbalife couldn't come true. And, we're living proof of, what can happen to you if you just keep using the products, wearing the button, talking to people, and you do it over and over and over again. And as Mark always said, when you're sick and tired of doing it, you just do it again and you do it again. And you talk to a few more people and you get a few more no's and you get a few more yeses. And it's just amazing what can happen to you. I can't believe it. We just booked our tickets today to go to Tenerife, for the Herbalife vacation at the Hard Rock Cafe, which is going to be amazing. We're going to spend a few days in Spain before that, and then we're going to go on the holiday with Herbalife, and then we're going to spend another 18 days in the south of France, before we come home. So really kick in the European summer. And this is just the kind of freedom that you have in this business when you do things today that other people are not prepared to do, so that you can do things in the future that other people can only dream about doing. Mm-hmm. So all we've done, guys, I promise you, is we've used the products like crazy. We've worn our button in many different ways, and wearing the button can be boot camp, it can be weight loss challenge, it can be physically wearing the button, it can be branded Herbalife. It's the concept of that you're open for business, doing things that you can attract people to talk to. And then we've just talked to people like crazy, and Mark Hughes always said, if you talk to some people, you'll make some money. And if you talk to lots of people, you'll make lots of money. And believe me, some people are talking to lots of people at the moment is Fit Couple, Jorge and Disney. They're talking to lots of people. You might have seen some of Pay Me stats, 54 conversations a day. So we're telling people to talk to 10 people a day. And if you want to be in their level, they're talking to 54 people a day. They're not doing anything different. They're not got any skills that we don't have. They don't have any magic pill. All they've got is 5 times the numbers that, we should be doing at our highest level that we're talking about. So whatever you want is possible in this business, guys. And I know we've got some events coming up that are absolutely incredible, that if you guys realize that one thing Conton said that made sense to me at the leadership weekend is our company is just an events company. If you can get the concept of events and bringing people to events, we saw this with our daughter. She wanted to do the business. And the only time she really got going was during the school holidays when she started coming to the events. And the same thing with Tyron. Tyron hung around for ages trying to get to supervisor over 12 months. Eventually we said to him, listen, we're not paying for your flat. You have to pay for it yourself. So number one, he got a reason. He started coming to the BBSs without us when we weren't even there. And now he's just last month he became supervisor. This month he did active supervisor with over 2,600 volume points as his first month as a supervisor. So when the reason's big enough, they will do it. And when they come to events, they get inspired enough to do it. So I know we've got some events coming up that are going to be absolutely crazy. But I'll share that with you. I think Elsa's got some slides for you, but thank you guys for taking the time to listen to my story. And, I hope it's giving you some inspiration that, whatever you want in Herbalife, you can get. That's 100% sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Shawn. So really the excitement. And so, today is the last day that people can buy tickets, or not the last day, it's the last day of early bird of the LDW. Do you maybe, I know we've got the BBS and I'll cover the other events, but maybe you want to just give a last word on why should people stretch and qualify and come to the LDW?
Guys, I'll be honest with you. The leadership development weekends have been the pillar of our business. When we started the leadership development weekends, that's how we built our business. The only thing we ever focused on at leadership development weekend was how many people did we have on a Friday? And then we started saying to those people, how many do you have on Saturday for Saturday and Sunday? Mm-hmm. And we built our business like that every single 90 days. We just kept asking those questions more and more and more. And you will, if you start to make that upfront commitment yourself, the quicker you get your ticket and the quicker you decide you're going, the quicker you start inviting people. Mm-hmm. Alan Lorenz, our upline, is famous for that. What's your number? It's not about whether you're going. Because if you've got even the slightest idea of building Herbalife, you're obviously going. The only question is who you're taking with you, and who then are what they taking with you. And the leadership development weekends, it doesn't matter who the guest is, guys. Let me tell you something. Everybody wants to know what information they're going to get from the guest. What you don't understand is the leadership development weekends are not built on you at the weekend. It's built on what you do before the weekend. The more customers you get, the more members that you get, your excitement about the event and the activity that you get going before the event, that's what builds it. Because you can have anybody at that LDW. You've seen LDWs where we had South African praise team and people came out of that to win Get Team and Millionaire Team. So it really doesn't, matter. I mean, I love obviously always promoting the guest, but at the end of the day, guys, it's the work that you do before that's going to drive your business at the leadership weekend, because that's just a little bit of our BBSs are great, our HOMs are great, but the leadership development weekend just gives your distributor that solid confidence, those cement boots to keep them going for another 90 days and then into the, the next event. Mm-hmm. And that's all we've done. We've worked from event to event every single 90 days just to grow it and take more people with us. And that's the only question we've ever asked is how many people are we taking with us? Mm-hmm. And if you do that, what you do is you'll create a culture in your organization that we go to events. We don't have to ask anymore who's going to the event. It's not a matter of who's going, it's how many people you're taking with you.
Yeah.
That's the
what's your number? Okay, Shawn, thank you so much. I know you've got another call starting in 1 minute. So we will, thank you so much. And thank you. Can everybody just,
Shawn, that was awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you, Shawn.
Saturday at the BBS.
Okay, see you there. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Okay, so guys, as we were talking about the events, let me just go here. We've got the BBS coming up on the 19th with Steve and his gorgeous wife in Cape Town. So I know it's going to be a packed out event with special seating. They're expecting around 500 people, so I encourage you to book early. This is going to be a very, very special one. So we are almost out of time. I'm going to run back just very quickly and just touch on these slides again. The qualifications, why really you want to talk to people, again, why they want to go supervisor for the maximum profit, the wholesale. I'm not going to go through all of this now, but I think the big thing we want to really show people is the advantage that they will have and understanding the volume and the downline volume. And again, people will buy what you sell. And again, you're looking sometimes for those fast movers, people that are willing to go and do the work, do a shake party and 500 points, sell the products and do a second one and really, do that 1,000 points in the first month and get 3 downline to duplicate that. Obviously, you're busy working with a couple of very serious people when you're doing this, but it's completely possible. And you can also do it over 2 months. So you need 1,000 points over the 2 months, and then you need 3,000 points over in your organization over the 2 months. So it's really completely doable, guys. You can do 2,000 points in total in each month, and accumulate 4,000 points together. So again, the focus really is that you want to, even if you're doing it over 12 months, you want to be qualifying with downline volume, so that immediately as you go into supervisor, you will be an active supervisor. So you won't just be qualifying to supervisor, but you actually will be qualifying to active supervisor. So if you're doing the over the 12 months and just doing little bits, what is highly likely to happen, especially if you're doing it on your own, is that you will have a downline supervisor that will be doing an average volume points of 350 to 500. This is really a customer that's helping 1 or 2 family members. If you want to be building a business, you really want to assist your team to be qualifying in this way, where they're building really a whole lot of volume within their downline and within their teams, and you want it to look like something like this, so that you really are getting the guys to be immediately picking up a wholesale and making that check immediately. Always showing them. Michael, can you just mute yourself?
Yes, I will.
Royalties are really running over, if you're really showing that big picture again of the potential of what people can earn, and then also showing the numbers again when we're getting to the higher levels, so that people can see it's not that many customers, but it's really getting into that mode that I want to build a team and build a momentum. And the best way to do it is to be around the events and show people and show them the what if game. You know, when you're sharing a story like Shawn's, and we all can borrow just his vision again, coming back from honors and what is possible. And so the next event is really this event on the 19th of May. And then, are you coming to the party? Are you qualifying for Friday? How many people are you taking with you to this event with Artan Yuanik? And so really, let's fill it out. Those of you that haven't bought your tickets yet, go and buy it online tonight, so that you are committed and you can go back to your team and say, listen, I've got my ticket. Let's go. How many people are you taking with you? I know a couple of people are still probably busy qualifying, but it doesn't matter. You know, if they know that they are serious and working towards this, then they totally can get a ticket. Remember, we've got this promotion, and we will extend it for May, June, and July as well. For those of you that's on your way to Paris, we want to give you some money towards your travel. And so, yeah, go build your team. Don't go buy volume. Just go and build your team. Build lots of new supervisors in your team, and so that you can qualify also for the party. I know that Magda is in good running to qualify for the party. A couple of us are working hard. We can't go to this event and not go to the party. And then obviously we're working towards the vacation. And the best thing is, if you're working for the one, you most probably will be getting the other one at the same time, and having just an amazing time, and just really build that memories in the business. So again, finding your ikigai, finding what you feel passionate about that will help you to build momentum with your business. But the one thing you really need to work on the hardest is yourself, your own belief system, and getting that momentum, because we all tend to procrastinate and, finding maybe sometimes excuses. But, if you're really serious and you want to change your business in 2018, I think it's time now to really start doing that. And we are super excited. So thank you so much. We've gone a little bit over time tonight, but thanks for everybody that joined us. I think it was a very exciting call, and chat to you guys soon. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao. No.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Ah, dat is allemaal klaar af.